And you don't have to go into a lot of detail. I just want you to have it clear in your mind what happened. And then you noticed. So there was an event, and you noticed yourself angry. Now, I want you to analyze this accurately. We have to be accurate. What was the perception? What was the interpretation? What was the thought that you had about the event that turned into the emotion of anger? Anybody? What did it sound like? Because it's almost always the same thing with anger. It sounds, the interpretation, the thought here is almost always the same with anger. What was the thought that you had? So anyone want to tell me what happened to you?
So,
What happened? What was the event?
a mandatory work meeting, and my assistant manager called in sick 20 minutes before,
Okay.
and he had a part that he was supposed to teach on.
And so guy didn't show up for the meeting. You found yourself getting mad? Okay. So what was the thought that you had that resulted in you getting mad?
Well, he's left early or shown up late every weekend for the past 4 weeks, so I'm like, you're doing this again.
Okay.
Seriously?
Okay.
So it's that he keeps not showing up.
All right. Hold on to that one. Perfect. Somebody else. Some situation, some event. I want to show you how every time you are angry, it sounds the same way in your brain. And that's a perfect example, and we'll try a few others. Anybody else before I start pointing?
Somebody pulled out in front of me and then went slow.
While you're driving?
Yes.
Okay. That works. So there was an event, and you found yourself getting mad? Okay, same thing. Sort of. Okay, so what was the thought that you had?
My thought was, what the crap, you make me slow down when you don't even speed up, now I have to go slow behind you?
Okay. And I'll reinterpret that. I mean, I'll say that in a slightly different way so that it matches. Each of these are saying the exact same thing. I want you to see the common thread. Because as soon as you get this thread, as soon as you get this, oh, that's what I'm saying. And don't get me wrong, I'm not saying don't ever get angry. But I want you, once you recognize that there is a thought that you control before the emotion of anger, then you can pretty much decide whether you want to get mad instead of things just happening and you get mad. There's a space in between that whole idea of choosing that we've talked about. Okay, somebody else. What happened to you?
I was taking a test last night, and halfway through the test, I realized I read the wrong chapters preparing for this test. And it's an open book test, so I had 6 minutes to go through and answer all these questions that I didn't know anything about.
So you got mad at you. So the event was you recognized suddenly that you were looking at the wrong chapter, and then you noticed yourself getting mad, only this time instead of the two people outside of you, it was you inside of you, right? You, oh, why did I do this, right? Okay. What was the thought that you had?
Well, that's stupid.
Okay. Why would you call it stupid?
I read the wrong one.
Yeah?
I spent all that time reading it.
Okay. Keep listening to those. That's a perfect example. There's a common thread with all three of these. Somebody else. Okay, so somebody said, you said something. Somebody dismissed your point of view, and you found yourself mad at that person for saying what he or she said. Correct? Okay. So what is it that what was the thought that you had right before you got angry?
Probably myself, but I'm right,
Well, it's always selfish. Anger is always selfish. There's nothing wrong with it either. Anger is 100% selfish, as we'll get to in a second. So it's okay.
Just that wasn't fair for them to not accept that idea.
Okay. There's a word. There's two words that are common to all four of these. What is that word that is part of this interpretation that we're having? It feels like that. Yeah, there's a simpler word than that, but it's saying the same thing. Because every one of these, something didn't happen the way we thought it should happen.